Item number SCP-031. Object Class Euclid. Special Containment Procedures. SCP-031 is currently contained in the Ryugyong, Korean people, hotel located in the city of Pyongyang, Democratic People's Republic of Korea. As the nation is located, it's currently governed by an authoritarian regime with near complete control of the state and national media. The possibility of information regarding SCP-031 is being released in the world at large is minimal. As said, regime is also cooperating with the Foundation in order to maintain physical security of the state. Foundation personnel are instructed to comply with their directives, so long as they do not interfere with the larger Foundation aims. The structure of Ryugyong Hotel serves to contain SCP-031 within the central spire. 3 secondary spires located at 120-degree intervals from the central pyramid. House Type 9 Heaven's Blade restriction systems squared calibrate the focus of the disruptive energy field towards the central spire. Although unable to prevent physical escape of the SCP-031, the system serves to prevent SCP-31's psychic energies from escaping the construction and affecting off-site personnel. Reclamation of the effects of the hotel are currently underway, with local government forces utilizing hazmat-suited personnel armed with flame protectors and chemical sprays to decontaminate areas affected by SCP-031. However, due to the slow pace of progress in SCP-031's defensive capabilities, reclamation of the SCP-031 drastically behind schedule. Personnel who become affected by SCP-031's psychic abilities to be terminated immediately to prevent their biomatter from becoming incorporated into the physical matrix. Description: SCP-031 is an anomalous organism with a mass of over 7,500 kilograms that has infiltrated the ductwork of the maintenance of the infrastructure of the building. Tendrils emerges from the SCP-031's central mass have spread through the hotel's plumbing and ductwork in all 105 floors of the building. At its peak, over 75% of the hotel's 3,000 rooms were contaminated with SCP-031. Reclamation effects from destroyed a redacted % of initial infestation, but over redacted rooms remain affected by SCP-031. SCP-031 tendrils termination in a pod-like structure. Sporocarp, consisting of ovoid structural approximation 2 meters in length with multiple cilia-like structures branching off the main body on some occasional subjects. In the presence of the SCP-031 sporocarp is instead perceive it as an individual with the subjects had a close emotional connection to their past. SCP-031 sporocarp with metamorphosis into the shape of a person perceived to attempt to pursue the subject and remain from the extended period of time. SCP-031's sporocarp is next attempted the physical contact of the targeted individual and their cilia-like structures. Digestive juices will be ejected into the subject's body and their flesh will be consumed and incorporated into SCP-031's body mass. In the meantime, a secondary flagellum and engulfed the subject's cranium and brain, replacing the blood vessels with its own tendrils, which will maintain life support for the affected brain by some undiscovered means. Tendrils would decelerate the subject and transport the subject's cranium back to their buildings, ducted where they incorporated into the central mass. Footage taken through surveillance drones indicate there are currently redacted crania in the network of tendril attached to SCP-031 central mass. By all indications, the brains contained within are still alive and may be conscious. History: SCP-031 was recovered in 10/22/1948 following contradictory police records taken after the riot of the City of the Redacted. While several civilians had gathered around a refugee camp professing love and devotion to a cult-like leader whom they referred to the Beloved. Once initial contact and assessment was made, the civilians were pacified through widespread distribution of inhaled tranquilizers and aerosolized anesthetics. MTF Psi-7 was able to recover SCP-031 central mass and move to containment. In its initial form, SCP-031 consisted of a single amorphous entity approximately 75 kilometers in weight, vaguely humanoid shape that had yet manifest the ability to consume and incorporate human biomass into itself or any mind-affecting properties aside from the aspiring, unusual feelings of love and devotion. As of 11/16/1948, SCP-031 has been classified as safe and is contained at Site Redacted. Fortunately, the Korean conflict, which began in 6/25/1950, resulted in the destruction of the Foundation containment site at Poyongyang, and the loss of all anomalies contained within. By the end of the conflict in 1953, all the other anomalies were accounted for, either recovered or confirmed destroyed, aside from SCP-031, which were presumed lost in the wild. Foundation assets first became aware of the re-emerge of the SCP-031 in 1992 with the construction of the Royal Hotel in Pyongyang suddenly halted. Personnel liaising from the local regime confirmed that the anomalous effect resulted in the disappearance of numerous workers employed in the construction of the hotel, and the Foundation Mobile Task Force was dispatched in the investigation. All members of the MTF were subsequently lost in action. The site was locked down and declared all off-limits. All work from Royal Hotel ceased over 16 years, aside from installation of Heaven's Blade restriction systems at the secondary spires. 2008 increased infiltration of SCP-031. The building's infrastructure resulted in the possibility of all discovery of outside persons. The local regime immediately ordered the windows to be installed and the structural hide the existence of SCP-031 from all others, resulting in loss of redacted. More construction workers. Unfortunately, this was perceived as a resumption of construction of the building, resulting in the expectation that the structure would actually be completed open to the public in the future. Reclamation of efforts commenced within the year, utilizing flame and solvent projecting equipment to destroy the SCP-031 tendrils and sporal carops. Each team accompanied by a political offense assigned with termination any personnel who became assimilated with SCP-031. As of the current date, reclamation efforts are still underway. Foundation personnel are continuing to liaise in the local regime and monitor the progress that is slow and steady. Appendix 1. Excerpts from RAISA email service. From RAISA Associate Director Eleanor Jones to Records Office 2201. Subject: Incomplete Special Containment Procedures Files for SCP-031. Team, I have an issue that needs immediate clarification. I have the Ryuyong Hotel as the location of the mind-altering steel in the Proto-Afro-Aesthetic Culture Group. I have to see if the same location as the brain-stealing flesh network, and those are two objects related to all this. Tell us some kind of DPRK containment facility. If so, we should put that into the object special containment procedure files. From Records Office 2201 to RAISA Associate Director Eleanor Jones for Incomplete Special Containment Procedures file of SCP-031. Eleanor, as far as my team can figure, there doesn't appear to be a link between the two objects. In fact, I'm getting conflicting reports from the containment teams regarding whether or not either of these objects actually exist. The 1427 team is insisting the hotel be a site for the Stelio and that there are no brain-eating flesh networks there, and that DPRK government is part of the containment procedure. Then I have the team for SCP-031 insisting that DPRK government's involvement is purely political motivated, i.e. we don't want to get involved as long as they're taking care of it. There's no such thing as a mind-affecting steel located within the building, which is concerning given that there's two mind-affecting anomalies within the same space, and two teams, two separate stories here. Possible Eastern Samoth race situation. Gwen. Conflicting reports. Reply. Okay, someone needs to get to the bottom of this. We can't have useful database with this blatant contradictory information. Make your first priority to resolve this. Reply. Eleanor. Will do. Entered into the tracker as 000-0031-F997Z. The sister ticket entered at 001-1427-F99ZX. Gwen. Team, can I get an update on this issue? Eleanor, my apologies, I guess wasn't clear that further updates would be sent out through the tracker system, gathering information and assessing the situation. We'll keep you informed. Gwen. Team, it's been 3 days. Can it please get a requested update, or at least a deadline by when we'll have this issue resolved? Eleanor, stated in Tracker Update 22 on this ticket, we found that the problem is more complicated than we expected, requiring us to physically send a person from HQ over to Pyongyang investigation. It's taken us some time to get through that North Korean red tape, totalitarian governments, am I right? To get the paperwork done to assign Jenny's responsibilities while she's gone. Gwen. What's the holdup? Team, it's been 2 weeks. Why has there been no update on this issue? This is a highly time-sensitive issue, and your lack of progress is extremely disappointing. We need to get this resolved before Maria has to step up. Eleanor, I can assume that per your instructions, resolving this issue has been a top priority. We've cross-referenced between the documentation, and the only discrepancy appears to be the fact that the discrepancies, as in all of the documentation for one project is internally consistent, and all documentation for the second project is internally consistent. It's only when you put them together that things don't make sense. We tried talking to the project leaders in both teams, but neither of them seemed to know the other existence. The other tried having them look up the other team's SCP file in the system. They can read it just fine, but it doesn't make sense to them. SCP-031 team has no record of 1427 on site and vice versa. We thought there might be some kind of space-time anomaly dimensions going on, so we had a member of our team try to meet up at the same place as the Ryugang Hotel outside of the front entrance. They were not able to find each other, despite confirming that they were both in the same place at the same time. Photographs with timestamps attached. We then had the two team members try to meet up at a location outside of the hotel. They were able to meet up just fine. When they tried to return to the hotel together, they lost track of each other, ended up not being able to find each other. Tried sending Jenny over to Pyongyang. Investigation was a pain in the ass and given the vice restrictions into North Korea. They weren't able to meet with both teams simultaneously, but they were to meet up each team one by one. Both teams gave their tour to the containment facility and every time seemed to be in order. 31 team showed them the reclaimed rooms of the cleanup teams, while 1471 showed them the location of the steel. Neither team was able to allow direct contact with the anomaly because of containment procedures, but they were able to confirm its existence through remote cameras. DPRK team for 31 had no idea that there was existence of any DPRK assets being used in containment 1427 and vice versa. They may not be too surprised given the information controls in this country. To make things even worse, Jenny got a call from EU and me from the KR branch asking what the hell the RAISA staff member is doing in the city. She contacted them, and as far as the KR is concerned, we do not have any assets in the Ryugang Hotel. Jenny went so far as the EU and me to take her to the hotel and show her around a bit. She got there, she couldn't find any trace of SCP-031, 1427, or the teams involved with either. So in conclusion, there were 3 weeks of hard work to include from the evidence, one of the following must be true. SCP-031 exists and SCP-1427 does not. SCP-1427 exists and SCP-031 does not. Both SCP-1427 and SCP-031 exist. There's an anomaly of the Ryugang Hotel preventing either team from knowing about the other by proving that the other exists. Either SCP-031 or SCP-1427 exists, and there's an anomaly in the Ryugang Hotel creating the impression that exists in the RAISA Control Center. But the KR branch staff are not affected. Although both of SCP-031 and SCP-1427 may or may not exist, and the KR branches are under mind-affecting compulsions, and they do not know or were under a compulsion that it does. None of the above may be true simultaneously due to the multiple worlds theory. Parallel universes and timey whiny fuckery shit, and you have any idea what we fucking do to fucking fix that shit I've got. Go ahead. Subject: New directives. Hello Team 1. Effective immediately, Gwen Avery Kirkpatrick has been relieved of her duties as the project lead of Records Office 2201. 2. All Records Office 2201 staff are now to make a resolution on ticket 000-0031-F77ZX and 001-1427-F99ZX. Their top priority. No other work on any of their projects is continued until the issue is resolved. Subject: Redacted. A fond farewell to other updates. Good afternoon, RAISA staff. Thank you again for your hard work. Today's email will be a short one. The 314 update of the SCULT has been updated snapshots 2207-D. Please remind the team leads to log into the test instance and confirm proper functionality. Send any bug reports to the Scuttle team as soon as possible. We know that this involves taking time out of your day, initial task, but the sooner we complete the wide scale Truth test, the sooner we can roll out the new version, put some fears to rest. I'm sad to announce that Eleanor has chosen to retire due to health concerns. This announcement came as a surprise to me as well due to the sudden nature of her health crisis. She was unable to say goodbye to us before being transferred to Redacted Hospital, where I understand she is convalescing nicely. Please expect a follow-up email with a link to the crowdfunding page and a going-away gift for her, as well as an address to where you can send cards, gifts, and other well wishes until we can appoint a new AD to take over her projects. We will temporarily be splitting up the teams between the several different existing ADS. Expect an announcement on the new table of the organization by noon GMT. Please take a moment during your next weekly team meeting to go over section 22-B, reporting inconsistencies in documents on your handbook for your staff. Make sure that everyone knows that proper procedures to follow if and when you end up with an information anomaly. Maria. Footnotes. North Korea. A locally manufactured version of psionic field disruptor. Initial estimates were that SCP-031 Central Core could be claimed by 1989, but as of 2021 efforts are still ongoing.